Lufal, one of the most influential players in China ever since Season 1. His support skills are second to none. I would actually say and underline that by far the most promising looking Chinese player ever since HGC China has started. Zuya, though, the main assassin, ranged assassin player for CE, just looking as powerful. So, the first map that we're going to see in this best of 2 is going to be Sky Temple. Pretty interesting because it's the first time we see this map today.
It is. It's the first time we've seen it, which is cool to see. And so far, 100% win rate for CE on this map.
But hey, you know what? TheOne, they're unbeaten.
So true. They also so far have yet to lose on this map. We will see, unless they lost in silver, which we do not have the statistics for, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But either way, this is going to be cool to see. Also, to expand on the joke you made earlier, if you find yourself teleporting into the middle of a nuclear winter, you are either a Lufal or you're playing Chrono Trigger. So either way, not the.
That's nice.
90s reference.
Dig it?
Wait, it's pre-90s, I think. Actually, that came out.
Oh, Chrono Trigger was definitely an oldie, but still a goldie.
Early 90s or mid 80s, I'm not sure. Either way, we're seeing Dahaka as the first ban. Wow, they are not holding back here. Dahaka, Genji, and Arthas. Arthas, the first pick for TheOne.
TheOne. We don't know what to expect in terms of drafting either, so they could maybe bring their own flavor, as some of the newer teams in HGC all over the place, or all over the regions basically, like to do it sometimes. We can definitely say that TGG in Europe, for example, have definitely had their mark, or left their mark, with heavy focus on Illidan and Stitches. So, always shout out to BKB, by the way. I'm not sure if he's still watching, but he is, of course, the main tank player for TGG, who took down Expert yesterday in spectacular fashion. Yeah.
Open Division teams represent coming through. No one is safe from the Crucible. For now, though, that is the highest priority we have seen on Malthael all day, and potentially in quite a long time.
Yeah, Malthael, of course, kind of, you know, celebrating resurgence. Like, he has been neglected a little bit, but with some of the nerfs going on Genji, going on Illidan, he's slowly but surely finding his righteous spot back in the competitive scene. And we saw yesterday what a Malthael can do in Europe. We have seen him demolishing people in China today already, so he is still a force to be reckoned with.
He very much is, and he also very much lowers the possibility of seeing Garrosh being played.
Oh, absolutely.
Crazy play.
That's a good
Again,
point.
the question coming in from the chat is: Genji still ban worthy? I definitely believe so. I personally think he should fall a little bit further down, but he's still such a playmaker just due to mobility. Doesn't matter how much they nerf his damage, as long as he still has that mobility, he's still viable. Exactly,
and the fact alone that he's so annoying to deal with, to many teams, I think, is reason enough to just get him out of the way, because you don't want to deal with his annoying mobility. You don't want to deal with a miraculous 5-man team wipe thanks to a good Dragon Blade. It's just, you know, a really safe thing to ban out in general. So, on the side of TheOne, we basically see, so far, a classic draft when it comes to double supporting Vala. Are they going to go for the double support? Not necessarily, but heroes like, let's say, a Rhaegar, a Brightwing. You can basically combo off Oriel plus Vala with almost any other support in the game.
So, we have a noob banned out. What are we going to see from CE? Wouldn't be out of the question for them to pick Garrosh here. They already have some follow-up lockdown, and they have the biggest counter already on their team.
True.
Stitches would also be good here for similar reasons.
Yeah. Speaking of a Lufal and Uther, by the way, it's not, you know, his traditional go-to support. Towards the end of the season, you know, the summer season for HGC China, he's been playing a lot of Brightwing. His Karazim, of course, is legendary. He likes to have his own variation build with Inside the One every now and then. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how Lufal is playing Uther these days.
All 3 Angels in the game, with Tyrael being picked up, and Alarak. No ranged heroes currently on the side of CE. They do need one eventually, or I guess they could go without, but it's not the best idea. But yeah, so far, very melee heavy team, which is going to be very team fight heavy. This is all about shrine control and choke points.
Yeah. It's all about team fighting. It's all about shrine control, as Tetcher said correctly. The Arthas is so good at locking down all those melee characters. And if you take a look at CE, right now, they're actually drafting 4 melee heroes into an Arthas on purpose. So they must have a plan.
Yeah.
Of course, keep in mind that, as Tetcher said before, the percentage damage from Malthael ignores Arthas' physical armor. It ignores everything. Even an Alarak can be very deadly against Arthur because all of his damage comes from abilities for the most part.
Do you, Falstad and ETC? Also, I've just noticed that Chinese Falstad says Rhaegar when he is chosen, which is interesting. But Li Ming is the final pick, so they do have a ranged hero. Do you think we might see a throwing shade build from Malthael here to help deal with the double tank and get more area control, considering they're going to have Holy Ground and Alarak?
Maybe. You know what? That actually sounds like a very interesting idea. So let's see what they're going to have. Li Ming as a final pick here could work because none other than Zuyu plays the hero, most likely. So... Normally, though, I'm a little bit concerned when it comes to solo range DPS Li Ming. I oftentimes feel that if the lockdown, if the engagement is not picture perfect, you're never going to get resets, and your team is probably never going to win a team fight. What do you think about it?
I think that's definitely a possibility. Also, just quickly, Zuyu has shown in the past an exceptional Alarak as well, so there is the possibility of that too. It's an interesting draft from both these teams. This is sort of CE, but not the obvious CE that we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
They're once again, they're flexing a bit and they're innovating. They're trying something a little bit different.
Isn't it kind of mind-boggling as well that none of the Chinese teams today so far has even considered a Chromie when she was on the rise in the Western scenes? It's crazy, right? Especially if you have a team like CE with Zuyu showing us a massive performance whenever he picks that Chromie.
Yep, the Chromie 1v1 during the last phase, which was awesome in lane. Not just like, this isn't a team fight thing, this is in lane, consistently getting 2 kills against the Dahaka.
It was a Wukong gaming site though, so maybe we have to take a little something away from Zuyu.
Either way, fun drafts for both teams. I've got to lead to CE just from experience and due to the fact that once again all ability damage versus Arthur's is nice. I wouldn't have personally picked Li Ming due to the fact that Arthur's army just kind of blocks all the shots. I would have picked something like Kael'thas. But either way, it's good against basically everything else.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sky Temple. Welcome to the first game between another newcomer, TheOne and CE here. The one on the left-hand side in the blues, we have Hugo on the Arthas, Lucky and Falstead, Meng, an old familiar face on Vala, Zyren on the Oriel, and on the Falstead.
Whereas on the right, it is Challenge, as we found out they are called, with a Lufel on Uther, Wind on Tyrael, KTY on Malthael, Paradise on the Alarak, and Li Ming is of course being played by Zuyu.
You know what? I'm still going to stick to Challenge Everything.
I do like Challenge Everything. It is a very cool name in general.
Absolutely.
I am a fan.
Absolutely.
Challenge Everything. Like, we were told it was Challenge Everything, but then at the entire Eastern Clash, they were Challenge. We call them mostly CE anyway, so I think we can just call them either and it'll be fine.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't think they will mind, because if they translate Challenge Everything, I'm pretty sure the players would say, it's pretty good. We're not going to be mad at the English casters.
Yeah, Kendrick, I'm going to be honest, I'm pretty sure they probably don't watch this due to the lack of speaking English. But I doubt they're going to be annoyed.
Don't crush my dreams. I want a Lufel senpai to notice me.
Oh, so much so. I agree. But for now, we will have to await to see that. As we do see... we do see the one trying to go for an engage. Arthur's wrapping around, being sneaky. Zuyu taking a long escape route, turns it round. Meg is alive. Zuyu going deep for it, now puts himself in danger again. He's on the run. Lucky coming in.
Oh my goodness.
Where's the healing? It's not available. And Zuyu is
They're all
first
gonna get
blood.
caught.
They continue to turn it round. Yeah, they keep going. Alufal will escape. Wind. Does he have the Eldritch's might?
Oh no, he's
yes,
sacrificing
he does,
himself.
but it's the wrong way.
Yeah, he's sacrificing himself for the greater good so that his teammates could run. The explosion, not enough to take down Hugo. And TheOne coming out strong here in that first engagement, securing themselves the middle temple right off the bat. And, you know, as long as they don't totally neglect the soaking aspect of this early game on Sky Temple, they're actually going to be in a fine spot.
Yeah, 1 minute in, and TheOne picking up 2 kills already, and they're currently controlling the middle shrine, the middle temple, whereas top is being held by CE. They were still able to hold it, even though they were did lose that fight spectacularly. They were able to soak some XP, and they are still not too far behind in terms of levels.
Yeah, you know, early kills, they're always good for the viewers out there and for the casters as well because they're very flashy and very fun to commentate over, but in terms of overall impact on the game, they very rarely give the team that gets the kills a lot of value. It's only a little bit of XP, and actually losing minion waves is way more detrimental than losing heroes in the first 1 or 2 minutes. So make sure that you don't get overzealous, overconfident when you play Heroes of the Storm, ladies and gentlemen. Don't put too much emphasis and weight onto killing heroes. Only after level 10, when death timers get longer and XP gets richer, should you do the very same thing.
Exactly. So, Alarak, by the way, has gone for the extended lightning and then the Chaos Rains, double stacking talents. Chaos Rains, a bit more of a unique one, whereas the quest can be complete the second you take it, if you time it well enough. In theory, it's one of the only quests that can do that, due to the fact that the only thing you need for the reward, the maximum reward, is to hit 3 heroes with a single Discord strike. Yeah. Which is is pretty difficult, but not impossible.
Now, I'm not sure who picked the Malthael in the draft because it just said CE player, so I think they must play on a different tournament account. But I think it is KTY because Paradise is on the Alarak after all, and Zuyu here on the streaming. So KTY, unfortunately, falling prey to another gank, but they get massive value in the bottom lane instead.
Could they be using a stub?
Yeah?
Because this is what happened when we saw E-Star in that same situation.
Maybe they're using a sub. We're going to have to find out in the end screen where we see the players shaking hands. Then we can definitely tell.
Indeed. And during the draft, they had the names underneath the players. I expect
I didn't pay attention, unfortunately.
Me neither.
Did you see Hugo?
Yeah, he activated Icebound Fortitude to save himself, but it was not needed. Ariel, by the way, once again, differentiating due to her recent nerf, taking the, I believe that's the increased when your ally takes damage as well as deals it.
Very true.
Gain energy.
Very true. So you basically use that on your warrior in those heavy team fights, on an ETC when he goes in with a stage dive, or an Arthas, for example. I mean, you can still keep it on the Vala, but for example, if Meng gets pressured out, you can immediately drop it on a warrior and still make sure that you gain tons of energy. So a very, very nice variation. Of course, we're playing on the life patch, guys, so Oriel was nerfed a little bit, so was Illidan, so was Uther. All of those changes here are in full effect.
There were nice knockback onto Paradise, who is getting wrecked. TheOne, 4 kills to 0. Kendrick are standing.
What is going on here? All the Chinese analysts and commentators were giving the edge to CE, but one. So this one commentator might actually walk home very, very happily, unless TheOne continues the pressure all the way through and they win the series 2-0.
This is crazy. If anyone, it's a good job we don't have fantasy brackets for this, because they would be boned already. As we do see CE on the defense, they're not too far behind. There's still a chance once they hit that level. They have a huge power spike at level 10 with Malthael and Tyrael especially. So they can try and make the play there. They've moved forward despite not everyone being here. Very risky. Alufal on the with the escape here, he will be able to get out, and everyone else able to pull back to that fort range. Final shots will be taken by TheOne.
Level 10 now achieved, acquired here for TheOne. They go for pretty standard heroic ability talents here. They go for Crystal Aegis,
Marshall
despite
stage,
Tetra really wants to see the buffed Resurrection.
Not in this case. This is definitely an Aegis
Not in
situation.
this case,
It's
gotcha.
very much a scenario-based thing. I just think it's more viable now.
I thought you would stick to it all the way, you know, no matter what.
No.
Gotcha.
This is not a meme thing. This is a serious thing. Where actually, I think Resurrection in certain situations is going to be far more valuable than Aegis.
I mean,
nowadays.
look at all the bursts, right? Look at all the bursts CE has with
Yes.
Alarak and Li Ming. You would be mad if you didn't go for the Crystal Aegis.
Exactly. So, they're going to begin poking down the boss because the one were able to pick that up, and as such, bot fort will die. The one even trying to raid the mercenary camp here, and
no stage dive, Tetra. We
ignoring
have
the
a mosh
boss to
pit.
try and defend it.
We have a mosh
Which
pit.
is-
And against 4 melee heroes, that is exactly what you want to go for, in my opinion. Melee heroes,
There's a lot of interrupts, though.
there's a lot of interrupts, but if you catch 2 or 3 of those interrupts, you're most likely going to get through. And that's usually the big drawback of melee-heavy comms. Melee heroes, they tend to clump up a little bit. They tend to stand next to each other. So one well-timed power slide by ETC followed up by a mosh pit can really spell disaster for CE. So they need to have at least Alrek or Li Ming safe, because those, you know, wave of force and swaps can be really, really crucial to, you know, just salvage those team fights.
Tyrael can interrupt the mosh pit as well, as he has taken Judgment at a level 10. Which also gives them the huge, we don't like Ariel potential to try and just blow her up. The Judgment into the Li Ming combo can be absolutely devastating if executed properly.
So this is basically where it all starts to go down for CE. They need to chain their abilities very well together. They need to blow up a target with all that burst that is at their disposal, and they need to do it while fighting on equal talents, right? They need to choose a fight before level 13 has been arrived for the one. Keep in mind, CE is a team that defeated MVP Black. Not in a series, but they took maps off them.
True. This is very true. The question is if they can beat MVP Black, but are struggling against the one. Once again, they're still even on levels. They're behind in XP. But CE, despite losing team fights and losing certain things every now and again, are still holding in Judgment, but no one else. The Gust was used to move Alarak away, so no follow-up. Nicely done.
So trading Judgment for a Gust is actually an okay trade. I mean, there's only 10 seconds separating those two abilities, so you're not going to lose a whole lot, and, you know, it could have maybe worked. It could have maybe worked, but still a valiant attempt here. Both teams actually sharing temple control with a slight lead in terms of structural advantage still on the side of the one, but CE has overtaken them ever so slightly in the overall XP department, and they're trying to go for Hugo. But look at the map awareness. The one Hugo with a lot of map awareness, good communication, forcing Arthas to retreat, because he would have been a victim for sure if those heroes had collapsed on him.
Indeedy. Also, by the way, the most pessimistic talent in the game outside of maybe Even in Death, in the case of Alarak here, and that is the pure Malice. Every time an allied hero dies, you gain 10% sadism.
Yep. Very true. So, just go feeding, friends. I got this.
They do have a lot of death value. I will actually argue
Mosh
this
pit.
case here. Mosh Pit immediately interrupted Judgment for good measure, and ETC is detonated here. Hugo is now in trouble too. Gust having to be used, Tormented Souls, and Arthas is destroyed. Resets are happening. Li Ming has buttons, and she used them to great effect. She is, however, completely Wow. She's chasing down, but she is not needed. Utter devastation by CE.
Did anyone say CE is a good team? I think we did, despite the one carrying the early game momentum. CE used all their experience and all their class to execute this blow-up style. So much damage on so many targets at the same time. Meng on the Oriole could only choose one. He decided for Vala, and in the meantime, unfortunately, ETC had to bite the dust. And there was so much damage coming through with that Malthael poison, with that blow-up by Zuyu and Alrek. It was fantastic, and I think this is exactly what they were waiting for. Waiting for Alrek to complete a couple of his quests, waiting for Tyrael to have the Judgment ready. This is exactly the CE I wanted to see in this first game.
Completely agreed. And I will just finish my thought I had earlier, by the way, of the pure Malice build. Tyrael gains value from death. Uther gains value from death. Malthael could take a revive from death at level 20 if he wants. he can actually gain some really serious value out of this.
Yeah. And which other region to go for this kind of playstyle than China, where heroes are falling all over the place, all day, every day?
Yeah. They've taken all the heroes who are rewarded upon death. Or not rewarded,
they don't play
but
the game, they play the region.
Yes, they do. That's a really good description for CE, actually. They play the region, but are still good enough to play against the other regions, as we saw at Easy Clash. One of those Siege Giants, unfortunately, having a slight issue with positioning, unable to get in range.
Yeah.
Now actually his minion wave clear. Tyrael still here with this, by the way, shielding the Siege Giants, giving them even more value.
Yeah. That is actually a very interesting point you observed there, Tetra, because healing and shielding mercenaries can oftentimes be very, very crucial when it comes to sieging up. Oh, this is a Chinese bush. This is definitely a Chinese bush, and you don't want to check it out. No, Meng, no! No!
Boom! And he is saved temporarily, and he's gone. Oh no, he's still alive! Ariel with the save right now. But Tyrael is in the back line. The mosh pit's good! Able to turn the fight round. Divine Shield having to be self-used by Uther as they're wading forward, but CE, they just needed time. But now goes Uther, healing his teammates in depth. It's Tyrael and Malthael, the double angels, cleaning up. Wynn's actually struggling a bit here. I am frozen. Dodging, and they can't finish it off.
Someone clip that and post it anywhere where I can see it, because I think that was the most glorious impersonation we're ever going to see in HGC China. Tetra going full all in here, and rightfully so. We were just waiting for some player in China to name himself to basically get away with it.
I'm good at some voices. I have some talents. As we see,
do it again! Do it again! This replay is all yours. This replay is all yours.
Immediate burst. Where is ETC? He's coming from below. Finds the two. Alarak's out of range. Judgment's been used. Beautiful play. Nearly saving his team that fight. At least equalizing it.
1, 2, 3. Oh boy. That was basically every Li Ming player's wonderland. Enemy heroes who are low HP all clumped together, and you're just smashing buttons with your nose all over the keyboard. But it was still good by TheOne. It was still well fought, and they're trying to go for that boss right now. Oh, the Holy Ground is available though. Holy Ground.
Do it. Please.
Do it.
It's been so long.
Win, baby.
It's been so long. Win. No. But on the point. It's on the point. Oh, the gust. But is anyone on the point? Judgment. Get on the point. They get the boss. TheOne finally pick up the boss, and CE are dropping low. Counter-Strike dropping the damage. Malthael is already dead. CE in full retreat. Through TheOne pick up Alarak. Here's ETC from the other side. Uther is in a terrible position.
That could be game Tetra.
Huge. A Luful goes down. TheOne, 5 men alive. Only Li Ming stopping them, and they have a boss.
The one-man march on Suyu, the only survivor. She goes flying. ETC goes, you know what? I don't care. This was my farewell concert, but my teammates are gonna rock that. We're gonna win this game right here, right now. They need to destroy this keep as fast as they can, and then hit the core with everything they've got. The boss is getting a little bit distracted by the tower here, but TheOne, they can cause a massive upset here, Tetra. Would you have thought this was possible?
No, I would not, but they've done it. That is game number 1. Going over to TheOne, also nice. TheOne man mosh pit. I'm a big fan of that. And that is game 1. Going over to TheOne. Wow. What a first day we're having, Kendrick.
I am shaken to the bone. A team that took maps off MVP Black. A team that made it to the top 4 in the Eastern Clash.
That's not right. There we go. Thank you.
Yep. They get bested and taken down by an amateur team who just played their first game on the HGC China stage ever.